Oh.
Never been asked that question before, to be honest.
To get out of my house?
Because otherwise I'll go crazy.
Why do I come to work? I do love cheese.
At the end of the day, I need to eat.
I mean, money to pay my rent.
Banter, for sure.
Gotta pay for that cheese. It puts nice clothes on me.
A sense of learning.
We do have a really great coffee machine. It's like top notch to meet all kinds of people. It's touch screen.
I come to work every day to connect with people.
I feel like I am contributing.
I come to work for sustenance.
To make a difference in the world.
The coffee does have to be good though, I'm just saying.
When we look at the state of the workplace, we have various studies that tell us that more than 3/4 of the workplace is typically not fully engaged in the mission or strategy of the company. And that means they come to work every day and they're not giving 100% of the value that they could be bringing to the table because they're not motivated, they're not inspired.
The expectations of the new generations is the subject of a lot of research. They are putting a huge emphasis on values, on passion. They are seeing themselves as prioritizing cooperation, teamwork, versus individual success.
And some of the foundations of engaging a team of people in your company, with your company culture, has to do with making them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
In fact, the majority of young people do prefer the belonging, the fact of being close, finding the organization that really feels family, feels home.
So that they feel like what they're contributing matters. It has to do with them knowing what their role is in relation to the bigger picture outcome of the business.
Nowadays, corporations, if they're not taking that very seriously, they're going to be left behind.
And there's really a demand because these prospective employees are sitting in the interview seat with the employers and they're interviewing the employer. They're asking the questions. How does what we do matter? The table has literally turned.
So values and ethics are very, very important when it comes to work.
And when we look at values, we see companies that will have 5 to 10 different core values that they come up with, they put them on their website and they hang them on the wall as a poster and they check the box. But what really makes a company differentiated and stand out is when it's not a performative exercise. It's when we dig deep and we uncover those true values that are in the heart and soul of the company. When a potential employee is given the opportunity or the option to work for a company that's going to pay them a little bit more, but require them to work long days and not give them opportunities to feel like they're part of something meaningful versus another company that has a culture that embraces meaning and purpose, it's an easy choice.
The definition of purpose is essentially the answer to the question, why should this company exist?
Purpose to me is something that is tangible. It's something where you set a goal and you do everything in your power to make sure that you're moving towards that goal.
Purpose is not just writing a check. It's not taking the lazy way out and doing some performative action to check the box.
That's not purpose. Purpose means to contribute.
Purpose to myself really means that work has to mean more than just simply the job itself.
Purpose in your business is where you build it into the fiber of your business. You inspire other people in your organization to also carry that torch.
Purpose redefines that organization and gives them, again, a stepping stone to doing something in a much deeper way and resonating with a lot more people and organizations.
How much voice is the company willing to give to employees, to customers, to suppliers, to local communities?
So the simple reality is, getting the purpose right, it becomes much more important to the people that are buying your products than in some cases the product itself. It becomes the reason people connect with you.
And that's a completely different way to think about what a business is supposed to be.
Even if you're cynical maybe about creating a meaningful workplace, it's going to make a greater impact on your bottom line.
The reality is purpose-built organizations are organizations that typically outperform the S&P 14 to 1. If you look at good to great organizations, it's 6 to 1.
You have billionaire investors and asset management groups like BlackRock and Larry Fink who are talking about social purpose and revenue and how one is an animated force to drive the other.
So the old idea that there is a trade-off, you can have to choose between either being more profitable or being more good to society is out of the window.
At CarltonOne, our mission is to make work mean more. CarltonOne was founded 30 plus years ago, and we started building technology to service sales incentive programs. At CarltonOne, we engage people by delivering a software application that allows the employees to earn badges, earn performance metric awards, and by generating those awards, they earn additional points for that achievement. We're using artificial intelligence and machine learning to track all of that engagement. We give out helpful hints and tips and ways for people to work more effectively together. Engaged employees are 3 times more productive than a non-engaged employee. I think organizations have struggled with how do they define their own purpose, how do they create meaning in the workplace. I think it's fundamentally one of the big issues that we struggled with in creating some recent products that we developed. Because we could create great technology, but the technology on its own doesn't necessarily create purpose. So purpose is something intrinsically higher than the technology. It's something that gets built into it as part of a model. So the process you go through is one where you really have to identify the things that mean more to you as both an individual and an organization. My own personal passion for sustainability and environmental protection goes back to early childhood when we fought to keep a second marsh outside of my hometown intact so it wasn't developed, and we were fortunate enough to win that. Today it's an amazing ecosystem on the shore of Lake Ontario. At CarltonOne, we've grown over time to bring sustainability into our organization.
And so we started with the simple things. We eliminated water bottles from the office, any plastic.
We then moved in and put beehives on the side of our building to build bee colonies.
And Rob was on a business trip a couple of years back where there were lots of wildfires going on in California. We had hurricanes and tornadoes and lots of destruction. And he said, this is terrible. What can we do?
And that ultimately is what drove us to look at how we could build a model around adding sustainability into the very fabric of the product.
Evergrow became a movement in the organization before it became part of the product. And this is part of the organic way to build this into your business. It starts with a passion or a conviction.
Planting trees is a cornerstone to solving the eco problem that exists today.
For every single user that's on the program, 5 trees will be planted in your name every month. Competitors really only focus in on rewarding specific behavior with getting some sort of financial goal. But where Evergrow comes in and truly differentiates us is that we go well above and beyond that.
And over time, those employees can plant thousands of trees just by doing the great work that they do each and every day. If every employee planted 10,000 trees and we've got millions of employees on the application, you can see how quickly we can get to planting 100 million trees by 2022, which is our goal. When we made the commitment that we were going to go and build an eco-funding model, we also then went out and started to look for partnerships.
Eden Reforestation Projects is a nonprofit organization that alleviates extreme poverty and restores global forests by providing fair wage employment to people living in developing countries to plant millions of trees every month.
Their model of hiring local native people to come in and be the custodians of those trees and creating a lifetime of work for them is also something that's critically important.
We empower local communities to take ownership over the planting projects. That ownership is incredibly important because it boils back to that sense of purpose, because they feel like their lives and their work on a daily basis matters now. You have to remember that each one of those trees represents not only a tree planted, but a life transformed.
One of the biggest problems we all share as individuals on the planet is it's very difficult to create purpose every day at an individual level. By building it into an organization and building it into a product, we make it easy for organizations to drive purpose within their community of employees, within their customers.
They're giving people the opportunity to be part of something bigger than themselves. They're giving people the opportunity to have fun and to understand their impact on the global world and to get their work done at the same time. It's a perfect fit.
The reaction at Evergrow so far has been, really phenomenal. Our hopes for Evergrow in the future is to really scale this project into a large global network of companies and organizations around the world. As that will drive huge amounts of funding, that will allow us to fund a wider variety of projects.
Being purposeful at work is just feeling like you're going in there and making a little bit of a difference.
We want to know our life matters.
And I think in many ways we don't always get to do big things in our lives, but we can do little things that can stand on its own as a beautiful legacy.
Purpose is about believing that there's a better way, there's a better world, there are better outcomes, and striving for those. It's like sending out a signal flare to say, hey, this is what I care about. This is what's important in the world.
We're starting to see a complete rethinking about the foundations of what business is.
We can't rely on governments, we can't rely on systems, but we can make a difference as individuals. We can make a difference as companies. By all of us working together, I truly believe that we can change the world.
You have to really believe in it at your heart and soul level.
The new generations are placing their bets. They are searching for the companies where their voice is heard, where their passions, their insights, their values are heard.
And so what are people looking for in the workplace? What are they looking for when they go sit down at a job interview? When they ask those questions about what matters to you? What are you doing in the community? What they're really wanting to know is this going to be a workplace that nurtures my soul? Is that good enough?
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Do I walk this way?
Thanks so much. Bye now.
That's a wrap.